all by myself. Don't want to be all by my... So board gaming by yourself sounds like just the saddest Hallmark Channel special episode. I get that, and if I'm honest, it's not why I'm in the hobby. I love board gaming because of the social buzz, the betrayals, the screams of agony, the luckier than life dice rolls, taking that and distilling it to one person sat at a table essentially doing a jigsaw puzzle that fights back. It's a hard sell, but hey, you know, the year and everything. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and actually, whilst researching this list, I discovered that some video gamers also play games by themselves, so you know, it can happen. If lockdown has been extra cruel to you and has boiled your gaming group down to just you and your increasingly concerning collection of plushies, or if you're just one of those people who thinks that other people suck and hey, sure, then this is a collection starter, and this time we're looking at 10 great board games you can play solo. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to Phenomenerds yet, please do. Just click that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel and we'd super appreciate it. Number 10, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. Deduction and puzzle games are a slam dunk for solitaire gaming, and Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective are some of the most thematic puzzle games around. Turn on your oil lamp, put on some classical music, pour yourself a nice glass of liquid cocaine and go full Basil the Great Mouse Detective. This series of games actually first came out in the 80s and they've lasted for a reason. It actually feels like detective work. Each case comes with one of these booklets, a map of London, a telephone directory, and best of all, these newspapers already in love. You read the briefing to the case and then you're on your own. In the briefing you hear that maybe a factory was the scene of the crime, so you look up that factory in the phone book, that'll give you a code, you turn to that code in the casebook and boom, more information to read. It's like a choose your own adventure book, but you have to use Holmesian deduction to find the next chapter in the story. Perhaps the clue is on the map or in a random reference in one of the newspapers or an offhand comment said by someone you meet in a random paragraph. Leads can get missed and clues that come to you in a eureka moment of lateral thinking can blow the whole thing wide open, all the while you're scribbling notes on a piece of paper that looks increasingly like Charlie's mailroom wall and It's Always Sunny. Brilliant. Number 9, Friday. Friedemann Frieser is a German game designer who likes two things, designing games that start with the letter F and also the colour green. No, he really likes the colour green. Here's a picture of the man. Green. Friday is a solo game that comes in a green box and sees you play Robinson Crusoe, not Friday, but Robinson's name doesn't begin with F, so go figure. In the game, you'll be facing a series of hazards like exploring the island, cannibals, and wild animals. Yeah, that chicken's gonna fuck you up. Each hazard presents you with a dilemma. Do you spend cards and special abilities to beat this hazard and maybe give you more better cards for the future? Or do you fail it, sacrificing life points, but also maybe removing the most evil cards from the game and saving special powers for later? It's a marathon, not a sprint, and that means really careful weighing of options every single step of the way. It's a nice, intense, slow burn thinker of a puzzle with a design that feels super tight and provides you with lots of difficult choices, and difficult choices are the heart of what makes a strategy game great. Number 8, Ghost Stories. To be honest, as long as you don't mind controlling multiple game pieces and keeping track of which piece's turn it is, you can play loads of co-op games solo. Pandemic, Horrified, Mansions of Madness, Chronicles of Crime, all can be soloed. But in the interest of fun new games, let's talk about Ghost Stories. A hard-as-nails co-op which is uniquely suited for solo play. Ghost Stories is a game about a Chinese village being assaulted by ghosts, jinkies, zoinks, etc. Wu Feng is coming to get you and he's got an army of evil spirits. What a dick. It's essentially a tower defense game. You've got ghosts coming at you like Cleopatra from all sides, trying to make squares in your village flip over and become haunted. And also, they want to kill you and wear your skin. Charming. To fight them, you zip around the village, activating powers, collecting tokens, and exorcising demons by rolling dice, and boy is it stressful. Even on easy mode, it's really hard to win. Many people who own the game have never won, but it's still wonderful. It can be played with up to 4 players, which is fun in its own right, but the solo version is actually really fun too. Unlike most co-ops, the game actually has specific solo player rules, which gives you an increased set of powers and makes cartwheeling around the ever-changing board fun in a different way on each turn. Number 7, Arkham Horror the card game. Another list, another reference to the Cthulhu mythos. Gamers really like Captain Tentacle Chin and his treehouse club of shrieking madness. Arkham Horror the card game is like a boiled down version of Mansions of Madness, all about exploring, finding items, getting set upon by swarms of rats, and also buying guns that make it easier when the swarm of rats come back for round 2. Be warned, it's a rulesy game. It comes with 2 rule books. That's a red flag. But once you've worked out what all the symbols mean, the actions you can do, it's an engrossing, simple, and actually really atmospheric game. Again, turn down the lights, put on on a spooky playlist, you'll have a really enjoyable tense time as you explore graveyards, attics, ritual sites, and come up against creatures of the night and, yeah, lots of bloody rats, all as you try and keep yourself A, alive, and B, sane. You can play 2-player as well, but it works just as nice on your own, and actually even more thematic, just you, out here by yourself, no one to watch your back, and everything's out to get you. Also, fair warning, it's an LCG, a living card game, which means you can unlock more stories and missions by buying more decks of cards, so if you're a completionist, just be warned, this can get really expensive, but if you're into Lovecraft, it might just be worth it. Number 6, Robinson Crusoe. Like Friday, but not designed by a man who's fixated on the letter F, so it can actually be called Robinson Crusoe. Evidently, there's something about a lone man struggling to survive on an island that lends itself really well to solo gaming. This one is a big chonker, both on rules and also wooden pieces, so feel free to treat this as a final boss on your solo gaming journey. It also sees Ghost Story's level of difficulty and finds it adorable. It's possible that Robinson Crusoe saw its family gunned down in a park by the mob because it is punishing. You have to explore the island and complete one of 7 possible island-based scenarios. One of them involves King Kong. In each scenario, literally everything in the game is trying to straight murder you. Beasts, the weather, disease, King Kong. You spend actions to build weapons, explore, go hunting, but the game gives you very little room to breathe. And if you get one thing wrong, problems cascade. Do you have enough wood to stay warm? No. Oops. Morale goes down. That's going to make it very difficult to hunt. Did you get wounded hunting for food? That's going to make it very difficult to chop wood, isn't it? Oh no, it's another cold night. What do you mean you don't have enough wood? You fucking disgust me. If I'm making this sound like a bad time, it isn't. It's thrilling, but it's a certain type of thrill. If you get your kicks from fixing a bunch of different problems all at once, this is your kind of game. If you just want a nice, gentle story, this game will wear you like a hat. Again, it's a multiplayer game, but when you play solo, you're not only controlling yourself, you also get to control a dog. That's wonderful. Number 5, Unlock. Escape rooms are fun. I know that because I've seen the film Escape Room. Look, fun. In our video about 10 amazing co-op games, we talked about the Exit franchise, which are escape rooms in a box and brilliant for couples especially. In terms of solo gaming though, the best puzzling franchise is probably Unlock. Unlike Exit, Unlock is just a deck of cards and a free app on your phone. Please everyone stop talking about my cracked screen. It is bullying and I won't stand for it. You have certain cards that must be combined. Key card plus lock card. You combine those 2 numbers together, gives you a new number. Find that card, haha, an unlocked lock. Maybe that's why it's called Unlock. You encounter machines that you can interact with through your phone, where you can also enter codes, but be careful, every mistake costs you time. There's bloody loads of unlocks on the market. Each one contains 3 escape room scenarios. Like Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, it can be played with as many as you like, but also like that game, it might actually be better with just one, because yes, you're still on the clock, but you get to take the puzzles at your own pace. You don't have someone shouting in your ear. You can stop, breathe, think clearly, maybe even put the game on pause if you want, lay out the cards in front of you. Also look, there's a dinosaur. Can't say fairer than that. Number 4, Fuse. Do you like stress? Have you ever wanted to defuse a bomb without also running the risk of everybody dying? Well, then do I have a game for you? As much as it sounds counterintuitive, as a gamer I found that if I'm anxious about something in the real world, but Adam, what's there to be anxious about in the real world? Lol. When that happens, I either play a really calming game about putting disordered things in order, or I lean the other way and play something super stressful, which actually serves to process that anxiety and sort of flush it through my system. Case in point, Fuse, a game that's guaranteed to take less than 10 minutes to play, because if you don't, everybody dies. You have 10 minutes to defuse a bomb, and you do that by powering through these bomb cards. Each card can only be solved by putting the right combination of dice on them. This one means you have to put 4 dice of the same color. This one needs 3 2s of any color. This one needs you to create a tower of dice going yellow, red, blue, green. This one needs you to build a bloody pyramid. You take dice from the bag, roll them, and find ones that you can use. Any dice that you can't use have to be re-rolled before they go back in the bag, and if the re-rolled dice match any ones you're currently using on your cards, either number or color, you lose those dice too. That creates a tense 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, push, pull, all as the timer ticks down and down. Like Unlock, this stress can be overwhelming with more people, everyone shouting and grabbing for dice, but when you play alone, you can enter a zen-like state of problem recognizing and problem solving. Fuse is a much better solo game than multiplayer. Number 3, Black Sonata. If you've got a printer and some free time, and we all have a lot of free time these days, you can actually play Black Sonata for free, as its publishers have released all the files you need to build your own copy. In true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I made earlier. Black Sonata is a hidden movement game set in the world of old William Shakespeare. You're hot on the trail of the Dark Lady, a subject of some of Willie Shake's most saucy sonnets. Wilt thou, whose will is large and spacious, not once vouchsafed to hide my will in thine? O Bill! Stop it. You move around the board following a series of clues to try and track down this mysterious lady. If you do find her, which you do half adorably, half creepily by spying her through a little keyhole in a card, then you get more information on who she might be. Using deduction, you try and piece together her identity, and if you get it right before the time runs out, you win. It's a charming little game with a fairly fresh theme, which also has plenty of tension and puzzling to it. And also, you can make the game yourself, and that is bloody soothing as well. The world can burn, but I've got scissors and a glue stick, and it's all going to be fine. Number 2, that's pretty clever. Or ganz schön clever, if you're fancy, or German, or fancy German. Hey, shout out to all my fancy Germans out there. That's Pretty Clever is a roll and write game. That means you roll some dice, and depending on what comes up, you write different things on a piece of paper, and the game comes from taking all of these different luck-based results and making them play off each other in a way that gives you more points. Please stay awake, because this game is lovely. Each turn, you roll 6 dice and can use 3 of them, and depending on the colour of the die, you score points in different ways. Yellow numbers fill in this grid, complete a row to get bonuses. Greens have to be a certain value to tick off another box on a track that gets you more and more points. Purple numbers always have to be higher than the number before until it's reset by a 6. Lots of different ways to score. You'll start off barely scoring anything, but if you're smart, you can chain combos together. Finishing a yellow row will give you a green number of your choice, which then gives you a blue number of your choice. And honestly, I might just be strange, never discount that possibility, but that is immensely satisfying when everything starts popping off each other. Plays really nicely with more players, but it's also wonderfully crunchy with just one. And number 1, Detective City of Angels. This game is too much. I say that right off the bat. It's too much, it's too heavy, it's too expensive, but I love it. It's basically LA Noire in a board game. You play gumshoe detectives moving around this lush LA board. Look at this production value, it's amazing. Finding witnesses, locations, suspects, clues in order to solve one of 9 cases the game comes with. To solve a case, you have to interview suspects, and sometimes they'll be lying to you and you have to work out when they are. Like LA Noire, if you accuse someone of lying and they are lying to you, you'll get way more information. But if they're telling you the truth and you accuse them, you lose a life. Played with more than one player, it's really fun. Everyone's racing to solve the puzzle first while one player controls all the witnesses, choosing when they lie and only wins themselves if no one else solves the crime. It's amazing. Brilliant storytelling. Lots of fun ways to trip each other up or wiretap each other's phones. But the game also comes with its own dedicated solo mode, Sleuth Mode. In that, you play a lone detective moving around, and when you find a suspect, you choose to ask them about a certain thing. For example, I asked this suspect about A, the victim, and followed this number, and he says this. If I think he's lying, I can go to this next number, or I could leave it. It's so tense because losing lives makes the time you've got left to solve the case run out so much quicker, which makes every choice a nail biter. Put on the LA Noire soundtrack, pour yourself a whiskey, pour over a case. It is sheer luxury. And that's our list. What are your favorite games to play by yourself? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video around if you can. And also, please subscribe to Phenomenerds for more lists and other great formats all about board gaming. So join Phenomenerds today and get on board.